Well, hello again. This is Ray Morales with The Blind Spot. And today, my guests are a couple, and their names are Ricky and Christy Jones. How you guys doing?
Doing
Great.
good, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for having
Glad
us.
to have you. Well, it's my pleasure to have you. That's for sure. And this is my second episode uh, for video on YouTube. So I'm excited because the first one went real well. And let's just jump right in. Tell the folks exactly what it is you do.
Well, we are the co-founders and co-executive directors of a national nonprofit called Strive for You, something we started back in January of 2020.
Okay. And what does Strive for You do?
We offer two different programs. We have our Arise program and our Seed program. Arise is the adaptive sports side of things where we help people who are blind, visually impaired, and
Hmm.
professionals learn to adapt sports for the blind, learn how to find resources in the area of other sports that are already being done to make those connections. And then we do different conferences, hands-on conferences, and our uh, tournament, our goal ball tournament that we host each year here in Nashville. And then we also, I'll let Ricky talk more about the Arise program since you are over it.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, no, that's we have PE with a twist, which we go into physical education classes. We take over the class for the day.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then we'll teach students about sighted students about what what an adaptive sport such as goal ball or kickball, and let them do it under blindfold, and then we'll give them a chance at the end of the class period to ask questions about blindness. We usually have a team about 3 or 4 of us, and then we give them a take-home packet so they can continue the conversation about disability in the classroom and back home with their parents. And then we also have our one-on-one consultation, which basically if someone wants to get, maybe they're newly blind, or
Hmm.
they were doing something before, or they're wanting to get involved in sports, we'll kind of work with them directly to learn what the adaptations are, what options are out there for them. And like Christy was saying, with the professionals as well, if there's a physical education teacher, maybe has a visual impaired student, or a VA staff member who has a veteran in their program and they're wanting to make things more accessible, then we'll consult with them and help them figure out what things they can do. And then also, if they need equipment, we can loan them equipment to help facilitate any of those things.
Get them started on that program.
Yeah, so
Right.
we have that where we come into the community and like adaptive sports days, or we have professional development workshops. So we kind of, on both of our programs, we take a two-prong approach of helping people with the disability, and then helping the professionals in the community that they live, play, and work in to make it more inclusive and accessible. And then we have our seed program.
Before I go into that, though, the PE with a twist is one of my favorites, and one of the things that I wanted to point out is it also is an anti-bullying piece to it. That
Okay.
feels like it's really important to me to remember to add that
Yeah,
in.
yeah, because I mean
Yeah.
we're trying to get rid of those negative stereotypes that
Right.
society has for us. And one of the things with Strive for You that we do is what we call a peer-to-peer approach of we're not just people standing up there saying, "Hey, you should do this." We're people who live it, being visually impaired ourselves, and I'm sure we'll go into that in a minute. But we believe completely in we live the life and we understand the challenges, and so we try to address those needs from our own perspective. This actually, P with a twist, actually started from when I was a kid, and my mom would come in and teach my classmates about blindness. She'd bring in a Braille writer and Braille and her cane or guide dog. And so, yeah, it was very interesting to take something like that from my childhood and then make it as part of what we're doing these days.
So the
Right.
seed program is our self-defense, safety education, empowering defense is what SEED stands for. And so we have workshops that we're doing. We're preparing a curriculum so that we can start getting other instructors certified in our program. And then we'll also have online courses. But at the moment, it's just the hands-on workshops that we can do in the community to help with building confidence and feeling safer in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about, is this just for sighted kids that you go to the schools and do, or is it for just blind kids?
So usually that it starts off with a vision teacher has reached out and they have a student that's being bullied. And so we work with the PE teacher and the vision teacher to put together an adaptive sport where we came in. That's how we sort of got started with the program. And then
Uh-huh.
it's just kind of gone to where it's for all kids and really all disabilities of, even though this kid might be different, if you look beyond this, you're going to find that person is a person, and you guys might have something in common. And
Right.
so bringing that out in people.
And then we work with the kids. Our philosophy, mine and Christy's philosophy, is if we get them young, then we can set good healthy habits. We can start building those life skills, getting into a good mindset, a positive mindset regarding their disability or regarding a person with a disability. And then we work with adults, and including seniors and veterans. We have two major initiatives outside of just working with children with our Healthy Youth, Healthy Tomorrow initiative. We have our Healthy Veterans initiative, and we've been doing things with the veterans for over 13 years now. Well, I'm sorry, since 2013, I should say.
Yeah.
So we've been doing, we'll go into VAs around the country. We'll teach either adaptive sports days, or we'll teach the staff a professional development workshop on making things more inclusive. You may or may not be surprised as a veteran yourself to learn that every recreational therapist department or every VA itself may not have a rec therapy department, or may not have a program that's more inclusive for those with low vision and blind. We've heard many times with veterans about how it's like, I had one veteran say, it's like they're fitting a square peg in a round hole.
Hmm.
And they have recreational therapy activities, but they're more geared towards people with cognitive or physical disabilities and not visual impairment. And so we try to take that aspect of things and help the veterans get more active, get off the couch. That's our biggest thing, is just get off the couch, get out, get active, which we kind of go with that whole philosophy that body in motion stays in motion. And so, once we get people more confident about living life to its fullest through recreation sports, or gaining that confidence to pick up the cane and walk outside of the comfort of their home into an ever-changing world, deal with the negative stereotypes and the what we call people who are just trying to grab us to help us across the street, or grab us to walk
Right.
across a room, that sort of thing. With the self-defense usually is typically thought about if your life is threatened, but we take it from the concept of for the blind, by the blind, where if you are grabbed and they're just trying to, that benign intrusion where they're trying to help you, but they don't realize by grabbing you and pulling you across the room, you're losing orientation, you're losing your independence, you're losing the control of your own safety. And so, we teach people how to deal with those type of things with the SEED program. And so the RISE and the SEED program kind of pair off of each other. We'll come in, we'll put together a day full of fun activities if we need to at the VA or in the community. and have our veterans get involved. And then, like I said, we work with the professionals as well.
Cool. Yeah, when I first became visually impaired, I had people grabbing me, trying to help me across the street and things like that. And when you're not expecting it, it is a shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to try and be nice to them, but let them know, I got this. Um, but
Yeah, that is one of those things I talk about a lot is, we're not public property and it is okay to say no, but you also want to make sure that, as you said, it's done in a polite, respectful way. And imagine
right,
if you were a teenager in that same spot.
sure,
Teenagers come off as,
they can come
arrogant
off
anyways.
exactly. Yeah,
So,
Grumpy, yeah,
so finding ways to help them also learn to say it respectfully and hold their dignity without looking like a butt.
right. And
yeah,
some people they have the best intentions, obviously,
Hmm.
right.
but it comes across as rough and like I said, unexpected. It's shocking.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I
Um,
like to explain it as if you were driving, to a side of people. I like to explain it as you're driving down the interstate and then somebody reaches over and grabs the steering wheel.
right,
It's that much of a safety concern. It's that much of a disorienting uh, surprise that I've lost control of my own safety, my
right,
own orientation, and that may cause further issues down the road. And quite frankly, if asking to help and getting permission, because nobody wants to just be grabbed. I mean, it doesn't
right,
matter who you are, vision, no vision, whatever. And so, like Christy said, it's one of those things where people feel like it's okay to grab us because we're so helpless, or it's sort of like we're public property,
right.
and that's not the case, and we just want to educate people. We had a veteran member of the BVA that was participating in one of our workshops here recently, and I was speaking at the time, and Christy and I were there, and one of our other instructors at the time, and she said, Christy came up to me on our break and said, "You just had a veteran walk out um, crying." I was told by the visual impaired coordinator, and I said, "What? Are you serious?" We try to monitor in our classes to make sure
Uh-huh.
that everybody's mentally healthy wise, especially with the self defense. And and so anyway, she got explaining to me, and she said, "Yeah, when you said that you're not public property and you have the right to say no, this veteran started, getting very emotional and walked out simply because
Nobody had ever told him that.
nobody had told him that." And
Oh, wow.
that's one of those powerful moments of somebody. I mean, this was an older gentleman, certainly someone who had lived life and seen a lot, been through a lot. I mean, just as a veteran alone, but as an adult, a grown adult, and they were moved to that point just simply because nobody said, "Hey, stand up for yourself and say no. It's
Yeah.
okay."
Now that you have this cane, it's still okay to be you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay to be you, and it's okay to have your own identity.
I know a lot of guys, they were very hesitant to use the cane
Oh,
Yes.
when they
yes.
first got it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to feel weak.
Yep.
And to them, I guess it was emasculating. They just didn't want to feel that way. And so they thought by not taking the cane, they were retaining their power somehow. And
I
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there too. In
Yeah.
92, I lost vision, but I didn't pick up a cane until 2011.
Oh, wow. So, yeah. So, what was your reasoning, if you don't mind me asking?
Same. I didn't want to stand out. I was in school. I first it was, I'm stubborn and
Hmm.
I don't want to look like the different kid than everybody
Mhm.
else. So that
Mhm.
Right.
I'm going to get bullied. I'm going to get picked on. It doesn't matter that I'm a cute blonde. I'm still going to get picked on because of that cane. Yeah, that cane makes all the difference.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I had
So,
a very similar situation. I grew up legally blind. As I said, my parents came to school. They were very active. It wasn't like they didn't realize that my parents were blind and used a cane or a guide dog.
Uh-huh.
I didn't need a cane at the time because I had like 2,200, 2,400 at the
Right.
time. But I was, my mom fought really hard for me in school to have magnifiers and a large print book and the old slate boards where you put your book on there and it tilts it up towards you so you could see the top of the book. Because
Uh-huh.
with me it was those hardback huge books where you had to tuck them under your stomach and strain just to get to the
Yeah.
top of the page because the paper was so big. And that made me stand out. That made me look different in school. And
Right.
so I refused using my devices. Even though my mom fought with the school system to get them, I struggled to make myself look different. I tried to fit in as much as I could, and thankfully, it was well after high school before I really needed a cane as far as my personal safety was concerned. But even when it was time for that, I was I was in Nashville, downtown Nashville. I moved from rural Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and moved to the big city. And I'd always heard horror stories about the big city and how dangerous it was. And one of the first couple of weeks I was here, a guy jumped out of a bush, behind a bush, and asked me for my wallet.
Oh,
It
goodness.
was, one of those things that, I didn't feel safe, but at the same time, I knew if I used my cane, I would look more of a target, exactly what you were speaking about.
Right.
It's sort of, I kind of look at it as, it's like needing oxygen. If you have to walk around with an oxygen tank and you're pulling that behind you, you've got a target on your back where society says, because you have that, you look weak, instead of embracing and saying, wow, look at what it takes for that person to have the encouragement, the courage to walk out, having their mobility aid or their cane or whatever it may be, and live life rather than taking the easy road out and stay at home and do nothing.
Right.
Um, and with that oxygen, if you need it to walk, for instance, and you get walking too much, you lose oxygen, you need oxygen to replenish. Well, you need that device. You need your cane to make sure, yeah, you cannot use it, but either then you're going to be holding somebody's arm as human guide, sighted guide, whatever you'd like to call it, or you're tripping and falling over steps if you have some vision, but you don't have enough. And so it really comes down to, do I want to not look, quote, air quote, normal, or do I want to be safe and that sort of thing. And it's a hard ask.
So, Ricky, why don't you go ahead and tell me exactly what a session of Strive for You is like?
Yeah. So, again, we have the two sides of things. I think a great example would be our Striver Day, which is that conference that Christy was talking about. It kind of
Uh-huh.
combines both of our programs. And we just got through doing that. We usually do it around the weekend of or before White Cane Safety Day on October 15th. And so this year it was October 12th. We do it here at
Hmm.
the Tennessee School for the Blind here in Nashville. And it's a day full of hands-on interactive sessions, breakout sessions. If you wear business comfort, you're not dressed appropriately. You're there to have fun and play. And so, you'll get a chance to understand what the adaptations of a specific sport is, such as this year we had yoga, we had
Not hot yoga.
hot yoga.
There's a
Sorry,
difference.
yes,
Oh,
there's a
hot
difference.
yoga.
Yeah, we had hot yoga, we had pickleball, we had adaptive grilling, we had self-defense, ballroom dancing,
Oh,
and then we went
sweet.
out to the lake for a while and did some kayaking
Oh,
and
wow.
different things. So you'll get to try, when we come out, we'll bring the equipment, we'll bring our instructors that can lend the expertise, so to speak. And then we'll show you how it's done, how the game is played, give you a chance to play it yourself, try it out. It's an intro. Most of the time, we're trying to get you interested in what's out there, what's available for you. Then you can maybe work with your Parks and Rec or work with the YMCA or
Uh-huh.
with your VA. and get some activities going on, and that sort of thing that you would enjoy. And then with the self-defense, we go through our intro workshop is usually about 6 to 8 hours. We teach personal safety concepts about situational awareness and maintaining that, spatial recognition, understanding how to get out of, like I was saying, the somebody grab you to help you versus somebody grabs you and threatens your life. That
Right.
sort of thing. We'll give you intro to a few of our physical techniques. Again, it's the tip of the iceberg. It gives you a taste in your mouth so that you're like, hey, I really think this will benefit me. I'd like to have it more in my community. And then hopefully we have somebody that can come to your community and teach an ongoing class, or we can
Start working on building those instructor base to get an instructor in your area.
so you can
Oh,
come
okay.
back, train or teach at your VA and or community, and help other veterans along with yourself.
Cool. So you mentioned another kind of ball, and I don't remember what it was you said.
Pickleball?
No, the other one.
Go ball.
Go ball. Yeah,
Yeah.
goal ball. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Let me
explain that one because I'm not familiar with that.
We're going to start by spelling it because I'm an old country boy and I slur my words together. It's spelled Goalball. It's one word.
Goal ball.
Yep,
Okay.
goal ball. And it was actually started by veterans after World War II in England. And
Okay.
it was a rehabilitation activity for veterans who are military service members who had came back from the war, who had either a brain injury or something that affected their vision. And it
Mm-hmm.
was a way to keep them moving and active. And that, turned into, in 1976, it became a Paralympic sport.
Oh,
And
wow.
Paralympics, for those who may not know, are for people with physical and visual disabilities. They're played in the same venue, the same country, the same area. 2 weeks after the regular Winter or Summer Olympics close, then the Paralympics will start. And goalball is one of those sports. And now it's played, in I don't want to say all the 50 states, but a good majority of the country. And then it's also played in
Around the world.
hundreds of countries around the world. And it's basically 3-on-3. Every member of what I love about it is every member of your team is blindfolded. And so no one can see anything.
So no
And you
one has an
have
advantage over the other.
Correct.
exactly. So I could play
Okay.
with my and have played with my sighted children before. Christy and I have both played with our sighted children, and either with them or against them. And you have tactile string under under what's called gymnasium tape.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same tape that they put on gym floors before they put the sealant on to
Right.
create the basketball markings. But it gives a tactile feedback to where you're at on the court using different markings. And then the ball has a bell inside of it. It's 3 pounds, hard rubber. It's made with bells inside of it. And it's very fast paced. You stand up, you roll the ball as fast, as hard as you can to the other end of the court. Try to get it in a 30-foot wide, 4.5-foot tall goal that's
Mm-hmm.
made usually out of PVC or metal piping, aluminum piping, something like that. And it's sort of like a soccer goal squished down and
Right.
pulled out. And the other team, while they're listening for the ball, and when they think it's coming to their area, they're going to lay out on their side, fully extended with their legs and knees, pull back their head, keep the ball from hitting their nose, and try to use their body to build a wall between them and their teammates, to build a wall from going into that goal. And there's a lot of other nuances to it, but that's the general
And a lot
concept
of
of it.
tactics and all that.
Yeah, it's very fast paced, and it's physical, but and I get all the time, oh, I'm too old to play that game, and And I get that. I played many years now, but I've got arthritis in my knees and my hips and my back, and so I don't play as much as I used to. But we had a guy who he will forever be my poster child of the goalball sport. He was 67 years old, double hip replacement, and he would get out there and show up some of the young guys.
Well, yeah, he
And
had new parts.
Yes, yes, yeah. He was great. He was all over the court. He enjoyed it, loved it, found it very invigorating. We are working on through Strive for You to create a 55 plus league for those guys who do feel like, hey, I just need to slow it down a little bit. I need to not play with those faster, younger guys. We hope to kind of kick that off next year, but yeah, it's a great fun sport.
Cool. Well, it looks like I'm winding down here. I got about 5 or 6 minutes left. So let me go ahead and start wrapping this up. It's been a pleasure talking to you both, and it's it was an honor meeting you, and I wish you only the best in continuing on what you're doing for everyone out there, the blind community.
Well, we
It's an
appreciate
amazing
that.
task that you've taken on.
Well, thank
But
you so much for having us.
Yes, and thank you
yeah,
for your service. We appreciate
if
all
you
that you
ever
do
want to
for
come
us.
back, you just give me a holler. Ricky, you got my number, and
Absolutely.
that's a song, isn't it? No, Ricky,
It
don't
should
lose
be
my
if it's
number.
not.
Ricky, don't lose my number. That's
Right,
the
right,
song.
right. There you go. You're
So
onto
don't
something.
lose my number, okay? And we'll have you back again. It's been a pleasure, guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. And if you guys would just hang on while I finish wrapping this up. Well, thanks, folks, for tuning in. This has been Ray Morales with The Blind Spot. And again, I want to thank my guests, Ricky and Christy. You guys have been awesome. And if you want, you can always reach us here on YouTube, or you can reach us on Spotify and Apple, and that would be The Blind Spot by Ray Morales. Just put that in your search and then it'll pop up. So, again, until next time, smash that like button and share with your friends. Okay? Bye now.